Vicki. I'm owner and founder of a company called Cardinal Selling Services located in Huntingburg, Indiana. For the last 12 years, I've been building an e-commerce based business, which is also a business-to-business service model. We work with companies, nonprofits, and even individuals with really valuable assets to sell. Often, we are also working to bring buyers of our assets together and help them set up new businesses. So it's an exciting business model. It's also a little bit tough on me at times. I've done this for the last 12 years, and it's taken me this many years to decide it's time to do a YouTube channel. Time to get out there and work with people who might be experiencing some of the same growing pains that I've had. I'm going to show you a little bit about shipping, and it'll be about shipping FedEx box, but it will also include a lot of information about shipping on a pallet. So don't be intimidated if your business has always been box shipping, FedEx, and you didn't want to do anything with freight. I'm going to give you some great tips on how you can kind of acclimate into the world of doing truckline shipping without being intimidated. I am working in a male-dominated industry, so I'm pretty proud that I've survived in this world. I think the real key for me is really being focused on a sales and marketing professional. And our company has done great things in our community. We often work with nonprofits. We're often working with small business owners who are either getting in or getting out of business. So for me, I have a background, bachelor's degree in business from Brescia University. And I also have been able to teach it as an adjunct for 9 years in law and entrepreneurship, and also wrote 2 books on entrepreneurship many years ago. So my work in educating and sharing my skills has been a real part of my entire adult life. I've been self-employed 18 years. So part of what we're going to do is just share my experiences, real low-key environment, give you guys some ideas on e-commerce solutions, social media. Going to talk about accounting in some of the series coming, and a lot about branding. And there'll be many other tips and many videos that come along the way. And I appreciate your feedback. If you have any questions, always feel free to reach out. One of the things I love to do when I'm coaching entrepreneurs is to talk about cutting costs from the beginning. There's nothing worse than looking at your checkbook at the end of the month and thinking about some of the things you could have done that month to have a little bit better financial picture at the end of the month. So our shipping costs, one of the things that we do is constantly are looking for sources or resources. So get familiar with the small businesses in your area that might have packing materials that they no longer use. So if they're a company that gets in a lot of small boxes with packing, they could be golden for your e-commerce business. We have purchased boxes by Pallets to help facilitate our need for boxes. There are times when we need larger boxes. We'll run out to places like Walmart and pick up some boxes. And honestly, the large boxes are a great value. You can pick up the large 18 by 18 by 24 size for under $2. So if you're in a pinch, that's a great resource. Ship very timely. If somebody orders something from you today, they don't want to wait 2 days for you to ship that. So be ready to ship quick. And your customers will appreciate that, and they'll come back. I think some of the magic we're going to show here, you'll see, has to do with how we're going to protect these glasses from beginning to end, so that we don't have to worry about when they get to our buyer that they're going to be broken. So some of the magic that we talk about is the double boxing concept. We're going to take these 2 small glasses, put it in the smaller box. These 2 pieces will be together in here, and we believe that the best thing to do with the glasses is go ahead and stick that in there.
Well, with this picture, for sure, give it a little bit more solid. And then we'll wrap it real good with the bubble wrap. Which double wrapping it doesn't hurt anything. Want to make sure the glass is well protected.
Our training years ago, when I was able to do all the eBay live conferences, everyone tells you overpack versus underpack. So you can't be too afraid, other than that your costs do increase with your shipping materials. But this pink bubble wrap, we actually sourced from a company we liquidated, a call center. So sometimes you luck out and you get packing materials given to you.
That you're putting the glass stuff in. So it is more solid. Your box will hold that better. And then on these little glasses, you might just shove some of the bubble wrap down in the glass, and just to get it solid. I use a double wrap too. A little. Protection when it's cooking. You just want to make sure it's stuck tight so that your box doesn't give way. Tape it up, and then you'll weigh it, measure it, and get your shipping label printed out, and it's ready to go.
I'm going to talk a little bit about the importance of using a strong heavy-duty pallet, but I'm also going to talk about the pallet. A pallet is typically 48 by 40 inches in dimension, and you can typically go easily 80 to 85 inches height for a carrier to pick up your item. This item is an oversized unit, which will still ship fine, cost you an extra $150 or so to ship since the pallet isn't the same as a standard. But if you'll notice, first of all, this is a heavy unit, probably weighs 500 pounds, maybe 600. The pallet is made out of a heavy-duty wood material, which is important. Again, you got to make sure that your pallet's going to withstand the weight of whatever unit you're sitting on top of it. This unit has a pallet underneath it right now that's going to need to be trimmed off before it's shipped. Otherwise, it's just going to cost you more floor space on the semi and cost you more dollars. So I will suggest my warehouse help is going to cut it off so there's about 6 inches on the sides that we can work with on still getting it shipped and packed carefully. Now with this unit, we will typically put 2 or 3 ratchet straps over it to secure it. We don't use banding machines. A little bit of it is, I'm not experienced with banding equipment, so ratchet straps have worked well for us. Anyway, so we'll protect that. Now, if you're wondering how do you set up the shipment, I will tell you, uship.com really makes that easy for any user to ship with a truck line. So if you already have an agreement with some company like, say, YRC or FedEx Freight, both are good companies. FedEx Freight, I will tell you, very reputable company. They have their outstanding reputation for a reason. I've never been let down by FedEx. But do remember that you can insure these shipments. So on uShip, they make it easy where you don't have to do any guesswork. It's going to say, do you want to send this insured or not? If it's a heavyweight item, definitely go insured. If it's a low weight item, they're only going to pay by weight anyway in case there's a claim. So if it's a low weight item, I would avoid taking the option of freight insurance, but I would also let your client know that, hey, this is not going to be insured. We're going to do everything we can so that it arrives okay, and maybe you pack it extra carefully, or around this unit, we're going to want to still cardboard around it and shrink wrap it once we've got the ratchet straps on. So there's not a lot of mystery with shipping, and honestly, it's really not a lot different than taking an item that you're going to box for FedEx in a box. You're really looking at what size of item do you have, how big do you need the box to be, and can you put at least 3 to 4 inches of packing around anything fragile. One of the great partnerships we have built through the last several years is selling the big ticket items for a local nonprofit, our local Habitat for Humanity. They often get great items donated that they are not as savvy with selling, so we work for them very hard to bring in assets that sometimes they don't have the space for. And this kind of office furniture is a great example. All of this can be found on our website, but what we're doing for them is not only warehousing, marketing, and selling, we also ship for them as well. Starting Cardinal Selling Services almost 12 years ago, I focused on doing classic cars in the beginning. It was an exciting business for me. I love classic cars, and I paid attention to muscle cars mainly. I myself, as a Cobra Mustang lover, enjoyed so much meeting people who had awesome cars that just didn't understand selling on the internet. From selling classic cars, I had mentioned, I started working with restaurant equipment 8 years ago. And from that time, things really started to change for my business. And I started to see that as long as we had big ticket items, we could figure out how to market, sell, and ship those items. Looking at this type of unit, it's very heavy. Each of these ovens weigh about 800 to 900 pounds a piece. The stand it's on is probably another 150 pounds. So when I'm looking to ship this type of item, the first thing I'm looking for is a heavy duty pallet that's going to make sure that has at least 3 inches overhang once these items are placed on it. So these 2 ovens on top would go down on the pallet first, and then the table would be flipped upside down on top of the top, and then we would make sure that all electrical cords are attached well so that they're not going to get damaged in shipping. Yes, we're going to use ratchet straps to attach them to the pallet, and then from there we're going to shrink wrap and cardboard around the unit so that they don't get cosmetically damaged in the shipping process. Shipping, it's not a big mystery, but I will tell you, and there is money to be made. So if I'm going to ship this and it's going to cost $440, shipping cost, my labor, pallet fee, I'm going to still try to make an additional 10%. In many years, our profit from shipping alone pays for at least one of our employees. So keep that in mind. It's okay to make money on shipping, as we're all in business to be profitable. So be careful. Don't use a damaged pallet. That's a big no-no. And make sure that in a situation like this, make sure you use shipping insurance. So if you're going through U-Ship, that insurance is going to cost you maybe $30. They're going to pay by the pound. So shipping insurance is kind of a mess if you're going to ship a lightweight item. But if you're shipping something heavy and valuable, make sure you include the insurance just in case. And talk to your commercial insurance provider to see if they provide additional insurance. When you're using a company like U-Ship, they're going to generate your bill of lading for you. So the rule of thumb we use is that 1 copy of the bill of lading, that's what this is going to attach to the box once it's ready to go. And we tape it on with shipping tape. 2 copies go to the driver, and 1 copy stays in the accounting office, and I typically write on top what was the cost to ship, so we have that accounting record as well. Okay, so as of now, we've made it to the 2nd level of the Cardinal building. So you're in the upstairs warehouse, so we use for the storage that is kind of our last resort. It's not much fun coming up 2 levels of steps, but we also have a conveyor system, so that makes it a little easier. I'm standing here among some beautiful vintage antique, actually, theater seating that came from Dayton, Ohio Performing Arts Center. So we brought these in here about 2 months ago. Not every day that you can find 90-year-old antique seats, and these are gorgeous. They have a wood back, wood arms, and they have a wood side with a cast iron decorative piece. You can find those in detail on our website as long as they're still for sale. We have worked to ship these in singles by FedEx, and they work pretty well to just send in FedEx boxed if you're only going to ship 1. Now, even if shipping 1, we will cover it in some really heavy-duty bubble wrap, and then we go around it with shrink wrap and box it to give it the best chance of making it safely. However, if we sell 2 or more, what we're looking to do is to put them on pallets. So they fill up a pallet very quickly. So we're selling them in sets of 2 in those situations, and we're going to ship them stacked up in 2s. So it's much more expensive to ship to a residential location. Keep that in mind if you're going to ship freight. And if someone needs a lift gate, and these things are very heavy, so all chances, if there's not 2 men there to receive the pallet, yes, they're going to want to have a lift gate. So lift gate and residential can add another $150 on top of your standard freight cost. If you can get away with shipping it to a local freight terminal in the person who's buying your items area, it will save you a lot of money. So talk to them about going to a terminal. That might require that they have a pickup truck, can drive up to 30 minutes, and it can really save a lot of money on shipping dollars. When people really want to get aggressive with me about saving money on shipping, I have to explain to them what happens. Sometimes we lose quality. I shipped out an awesome antique wooden, it was actually oak, 1970s oak, 6-foot long double lateral dresser. And the lady was just, I can't do the $650 shipping. And I said, well, there's one option for $450 out there, but they have a reputation for somewhat, being that carrier that's going to cause damage. And it arrived damaged. So very heartbreaking. It was a very heavy unit, but still the claim to refund on that was $80. So that was quite frustrating. Think about this. If you don't have a great location to pick up this type of item on a pallet, it's got to be from a dock to make it worthwhile for you to ship it. See if you have a local business in your area that would work with you on letting you have this shipped from their dock. It's going to save you a lot of shipping dollars if you can load it on their dock and ship it. Don't forget that you need to take photos while you're packing this up to ship, so that in case there's any doubt that your shipping method could have caused something to arrive damaged, you've got some documentation. Just a few final items I wanted to not forget. We ship a lot of oddball items out of our business throughout the year. I've been involved with selling everything from vault door systems for banks to cubicle sets out of call centers to restaurant equipment that often has legs on top of a heavy-duty unit. These theater chairs also have these legs, so you got to be careful. Make sure your pallet has a solid surface underneath it. Often I'll go to Home Depot once a month and have so many sheets of plywood cut to the 40 by 48 spec. So all we have to do is come back and nail that top on. You definitely want to make sure you don't have any chance that any kind of legs can slip down into the pallet when it's being shipped, or it will cause damage. If you have any questions about our techniques or our ways of doing business, feel free to contact us. We have recently really got back active with talking about our franchise mission as well. So our company is a legal franchise in 34 states.